I think we all have heard about the CB craze of the 1970s, especially about 1975 on. I was 12 years old, lived here in Warren County. Exactly, the odometer in your car, 4 miles from this parking lot here, library, to the driveway. I was raised at the corner of Dallasburg and Goshen Murdoch from 69 to 79. Anyway, yes, CB radio is federal airwaves. One time we was over and me and my dad and our good CB buddy, his handle was Milliwatt. First name was Bob. He was blind. He was blind at birth. We was over there. We took him over there to meet my grandpa and grandma. And as we was coming back, we started hearing somebody cussing heavily on the CB radio. I mean, strong language. It was a guy, I think he terrorized the airwaves for about a year. But now my dad's got him on tape. And if my dad will dub those tapes and send me the copy, now it's not for kids. You'll have to be mature to listen to it. I'll record the cassette tape, and you'll hear the guy cussing people out. You know, CB radio is still federal. It's still federal airwaves. Never was caught. Like I said, we nicknamed him Garbage Mouth. And he went all over his county, cussing, get on the radio. Now, back in those days, we ran channel 17. We just one of those channels somebody thought was quiet, and we had a whole. I mean, we knew a lot. My dad knew a lot of people on the radio. All of our neighbors. We all we nicknamed it Combat 17. Because everybody, and I loved the CB. I loved the radio. I didn't like the Garbage Mouth. But loved hearing Dad talking to all his friends and so forth for years, you know. But that one time, this guy was terrorizing the radio waves. And my dad's got it on tape. If my dad will, like I said, make dubs, don't send me the original. And I ain't got no cassette player. If he would ship me a cassette player, I would record it and make a video of it. But no kids, because this guy, these tapes are probably thinking, you know, Dad, always had the CB radio in the living room. And yeah, I'm 12. Now you'll hear a little boy in there at times. That's me at 12 years old. Yeah. Right around 1975, 1976, somewhere in there. And you'll hear my dad talking. You hear my mom, because he recorded it next to the TV. He always kept the CB next to the TV. And the guy said everything under the book. He did say some vulgar. And what he was basically doing is cussing out a blind man and calling him all kind of names. He cussed out everybody. But he was never caught. Never. Back in those days, they didn't have satellite recognizance. In those days, they had to get in the FCC, Federal Communications Commission. And yeah, he was reported numerous times. And if I remember correctly, the FCC tried to get into a triangular position with their vans, a triangular, and try to trace him, to find who he was. And I think they attempted it. I believe they attempted it and they failed. He was always mobile. We got one look at him one time. Yeah, he was coming by the house because of the S meter. Now the S meter on CB radio is just a voltmeter, but it's an indicator on how close or how far somebody is away. And the needle was all the way in the red. And me and Dad ran out the front door because Dad knew he's coming by. And as he come by, flying about 60 miles an hour, he didn't stop. As he come by, he was on a microphone, and we could hear him through the. We had to listen. Dad had the CB radio loud as he could get it, but we could hear him. And when he went by, that microphone matched what we was hearing on the CB radio. We got one glimpse of him. He looked about 60 years old. And I ain't gonna say who we thought. The got strong rumor of who he was, his real name. And I ain't going to say his real name. I don't want to even say his first name because they're probably if that same guy, if that's him, he's buried right up here, Goshen Murdoch. But I don't want to give us even his first name because people remember those days, and you know, if I say his first name, they might get angry at me because a lot of people knew him. But a strong rumor who he was, but we could never prove it.